We will start with this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Sravana mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi grinanti e Bhurida janaha. This is about the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. But the quotation is from the Gopi Gita. And this in the Bhagavata also it has been mentioned. And we quote it because this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, every page is full of knowledge. That is the main reason. And knowledge of spirituality. And at the same time he is talking about the mundane knowledge also, the worldly thoughts also. About what? That you should keep good relation with your brothers, with your neighbors, must serve with great respect your parents. So the humanly qualities, unless and until those humanly qualities are developed, one cannot develop the spiritual life. So Sri Ramakrishna in page 428 he is mentioning, a man cannot see God unless he gives his whole mind to Him, H capital, that means to God. Unless he gives his whole mind to God. And mind means what? Mind is the flow of thoughts, different type of thoughts. Now I have to live, when I am surviving, living, I have many responsibilities, the duties, I have to earn, I have to take care of my family, I have to do many other things. How one can put his whole mind to God? Now why Sri Ramakrishna is telling like this? Is it possible for anyone? Of course, Sri Ramakrishna himself gave his whole mind to God. He could not think of anything else. How? Now if we read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, we get the clues, the hints, the ideas, wherever he is going, wherever he is visiting, everywhere he is constantly thinking the presence of God. He went to Jew garden, he saw a lion, and immediately he thought of Goddess Durga. Because the carrier of Goddess Durga is a lion. And instead of seeing only the lion, the beast, he was thinking about the Goddess Durga. So that is the way one should think. Whenever, whatever we see is nothing but the manifestation of the God. That is called the whole mind. And how to practice it? Swami Vivekananda, in his Karma Yoga, he is giving that theory, that whatever you do, think that I am doing it for God. Whomever you are serving, talking, think that I am doing it for God. So that is the way one can constantly put his mind into God. We, the Ramakrishna Mission Swamis, yesterday only a group of people came, I was talking with them. And the sannyasins, we have left our hearth and home, we don't have any other things, but we have the organization. And organization means the rules and regulations. You are bound by the rules and regulations. So whatever the organization is asking me, I am bound to do that. And in exchange, I am getting the security of food and the dress and the house and all those things. Devotees are there taking care. But that is the greatest sadhana. In America, you won't understand. If you go to India particularly, we are doing a lot of philanthropic work. And naturally we are maintaining the college, university, schools, big schools, and so many varieties of things. And one of our Swami, he is in charge, and people are coming and asking for different type of help to admit his son or this and that. When sitting in that position of the administration, so naturally the thought comes, I am the person. When I am signing, so many people get the job. When I sign, that they may lose the job. That ahamkara, the ego, may come. So the Ramakrishna Mission Swami's tapasya is more difficult than many others. Constantly you have to think that I am the servant of God. I am sitting over here in this position. I don't have any qualities. Because the God wanted me to be here, and I am whoever coming before me, I am serving them. And when you are giving the service, accordingly you have to give. Different type of people are coming, you have to handle them differently. So that is the greatest sadhana. And you are having a lot of money, because the government grants are coming in India. All the social work, mostly they do through the NGOs, that they are giving a lot of money, but you are very, very careful. Not a single farthing should be here and there. You should not go to this place or that place. That is the main thing. So this is the, now, recently we are organizing a meeting to celebrate the 125th year of Swami Vivekananda's lecture in the Fullerton Hall. Now suddenly what happened, the Swami, who was to represent the Belur Math, is a trustee and the governing body member, suddenly he passed away the last Friday night. And obviously they had a meeting and called me and told, you better cancel the program. Once they picked up the phone and told, make a program over there, arrange it, and then another call came, cancel the program. But cancelling means so many other things are there. Almost 200 people, they have already registered. Of course, $25, etc. But now 200 people, I have to return back all this money. I have to go on writing to them, will you please take back the money, or do you think that you will keep it as a donation? So, I cannot keep that money, maybe the $25 individual, nothing. But at the same time, unless they say, yes, Swami, you keep that money, I cannot keep. Because the money was taken only for that particular purpose. So this is called the constant awareness about the God and His work. So in the samsara also, when we are working, the same thing we have to keep in mind. One line only He said, and that straightens our whole life. A man cannot see God unless he gives his whole mind to Him. As long as there is a bhoga, there will be less of yoga. The bhoga means desire to enjoy this, the physical thing, then there is no yoga. Yoga means union with the God. So that way constantly we have to understand, we have to think. And then he gives a beautiful story, an avatara, that Abhadhuta. He chose an eagle as one of his 24 gurus. This is a very unique story. That the very famous spiritual personality, Abhadhuta, and he chose 24 gurus. Who are the gurus? The bee, the ant, the eagle, like that. From them he used to learn. And the eagle, and he got a fish. And he thought that he will go in a place and he'll see it and eat. And the eagle had a fish in his beak. So it was surmounted by thousands of crows. Whichever way it flew with the fish, the crows pursued in crying, caw, caw. When all of a sudden the fish dropped, the crows flew away after the fish, leaving the eagle alone. The fish is the object of enjoyment, and the crows are the worries and anxieties. What is more, money itself becomes a source of trouble. Brothers may live happily, but they get into trouble when the property is divided. So this is the problem, and so practical. We have seen the brothers. Even sometimes some people from America, they go and the brothers say, why you are in America, why you want to share my, here in India, then they'll say, but I am a son of my father and I need this. There'll be a lot of problem, almost in different families. Why? Because the property. So that is the reason. And there are so many stories are there. The four brothers were there. And they constantly used to fight with among them. So the father was a very intelligent person. And he told, see, son, the bed that I am lying on, below this in the earth, I have kept lot many things. And particularly the field that you see, you have to dig it different places. I have hidden lot of wealth. And the four brothers, the moment the father died, instead of attending the funeral, they all went to the field and started digging in different corners, and the whole field was dug and nothing was there. Then when they were wondering why the father said like that, a wise man of the village came and told, anyway, you didn't get the wealth over here, but the field is ready for sowing the seeds. Why don't you throw some seeds? You will get the crops, and by that you will get some money. So the father wanted them to work and to get the money. So that was the teaching. Different stories that always say the property is really very difficult. And that is the come here now and then. He's talking to the gentleman who was an actor. See, he came to visit Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna told him, come here now and then. Here means in the company of the holy people. And what is that holy people? The holy thoughts. We are discussing about this. We are reading, listening, and that way, slowly, slowly, all our doubts are cleared. Bro, what is the problem? Problem is only the mind, our doubts. Live in the world, but keep the mind firmly on God. If the master is telling, I am not reading all those lines, I am skipping, and then the master is telling to that gentleman, he said, live in the world, but keep the mind firmly on God. This is the advice of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Live in the world, meant all your duties. Can you remember the wonderful teaching Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna? Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Mam anusmara. Constantly you think about me and yuddhacha, fight. The moment I was asking for this Gita sloka, I looked to that chair where our Bir Balaji used to sit, and she memorized all the 700 slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. So that way, and she tried to live that life also, working constantly and without getting entangled. Mam anusmara. Mam means it is not Krishna or Sri Ramakrishna. It is the God all-pervading. And what is God? God, Swami Vivekananda is giving the definition. Unselfishness is God. And then in one place he said, L-O-V-E, love, that is God. So unselfishness, when I am free from that selfishness, that I only should live, I only should enjoy, that makes my mind very narrow. And when it is not there, a wonderful love comes. I go and mix with all different type of people. And I love them, I like them. So that way, your enjoyment, your joy is expanded. So God is two qualities, unselfishness and pure love without any boundary. And that is what is called life. Swamiji said, expansion is life, contraction is death. Now in Kamarpukur he is giving an example. That is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. That whenever he said anything, immediately give an example. He said over here. And nowadays, of course, you won't find this type of things happening even in the villages, because all machines have come. In the olden days, they used to husk in a different way. I have seen the women of carpenter families making flattened rice with a husking machine. One woman kicks the end of the wooden beam, and the another woman, while nursing her baby, turns the paddy in the mortar dug in the earth. The second woman is always alert lest the pestle of the machine should fall on her hand. I have seen that machine, it was coming constantly down, and those ladies are constantly changing that particular thing which is getting husked. With the other hand, she fries the soaked paddy in a pan. Besides, she is talking with the customers, and she says, "You owe us so much money, please pay it before you go." Likewise, do your different duties in the world, fixing your mind on God, but practice is necessary. One should also be alert. Only in this way can one safeguard both God and the world. Now, Sri Ramakrishna is unique. Why? He is not asking anyone to leave the world. He is asking, be there in the world. But if you feel really very strong urge to give away the world and all those things, okay, or otherwise, be there. And whatever the duties that you are performing, do it in such a way so that you can have both God and the world. The world means the duties and things, responsibilities that you are having. Then the actor is asking a wonderful question. He is asking, "Sir, what is the proof that the soul is separate from the body?" Now, this is the question he is asking. He is an actor, but in the Bhagavad Gita, you know, in the second chapter, in the beginning of the Gita, we can say, again and again in so many verses, the Lord said, Krishna said, the soul and the body are separate. Friends, let us concentrate on this particular part, and we will discuss afterwards the other things. The Gita, second chapter, 22nd sloka, verse. I am not reading the whole verse, just giving the hint. Basamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sahiyati navani dehi. Those who know a little about the Sanskrit, it's very simple, very easy language. But is a Veda, the Upanishads, is a little bit difficult. But Bhagavad Gita, very simple Sanskrit. Basamsi jirnani, man gives us the old garments. Old garments, the wonderful example that has been given, and the body are the same. When the garments and the body are equal. And the garments, when become old, what do? We just discard it. Similarly, when the body is old, what we are supposed to do? Discard it. And you should not be unhappy for that, because you will get another body. And that proves the soul, it is traveling again and again in different new bodies. And of course, both are there. I am going to born again, that hope is there. But how I will born, that I don't know. It depends according to my work. If I have thought or did something wrong, then I am going to suffer. And according to that suffering, I will get my body. I will born in that particular way. So Vasamsi Chirnani, that is a different part, the karma phala. But here it says, when the body becomes old, the soul, the self abandons that body. And then Sri Ramakrishna giving the example, the coconut. When it becomes very dry, the coconut shell and the kernel inside, it becomes separated. And if you do like this, you can immediately hear the sound inside. It has been separated. But when it is not ripe that way, you won't get that. So like that, when the body is completely old, the self also becomes like that and it will leave. In the Gita 23rd, 24th, 25th, second chapter, all the verses, it gives on the example. Nainam shastrani chindanti. Nainam chindanti shastrani. Nainam dahati pavaka, etc. etc. The weapons cannot cut it. The water cannot wet it. The fire cannot burn it. Otherwise, how they will explain, how they will say that this is what? Acchedoyam, adajyoyam, the same thing telling in another language. You cannot divide, you cannot burn, and this is in one unit and completely subtle, and it is completely separate from the body. Abhyaktoyam, achintoyam. Abhyakta means it is completely unmanifested. Vyakta, manifested. Abhyakta, unmanifested. It is there, very much there, the soul. Without soul you cannot survive. But it is completely unmanifested. And that's why we don't have any idea about the soul. Though without soul we are dead. Completely dead, but we are not aware of that particular thing which is so valuable. So that they say abhyaktoyam, unmanifested, or chintoyam, even unconceivable. One cannot have that idea. Why? Because it is beyond time, space and causation. Without the time, space and causation, how can we understand that the soul is beyond time, space and causation? And it says in the Yoga Vasishta, Yoga Vasishta is a unique book of Vedanta. The sloka, the ultimate being, has no name. But for practical use, rishis have called that ultimate being, as the Rita, Satya, Atma, Brahma. All these names that has been given to that ultimate being, which in reality has no name, no form. But without the name, without the form, we cannot conceive. That is the problem. The human being, that is the problem. We have to go beyond that. How? That sadhana is a completely different. So Sri Ramakrishna said, with this mind you cannot see God. You cannot comprehend God. You have to have a different spiritual mind which goes beyond this name and form, the region of name and form. And that is possible. So many great souls, they have seen God. Ritam, Atma, Param Brahma, Satyam, Ittadika, Buddhihi. Buddha means intellectual people. Buddha means knowledge. Buddha means that knowledge. A person who has got that knowledge. Knowledge of one. So Buddhihi, those who have realized that, they have given this name only to express the idea, otherwise how they will say. And what are the names? Ritam. Then Atma, Param Brahma and Satyam. The next line it says, Kalpita Vyabhaharartham Tasya Sangha Mahatmanaha. Sangha means definition. Kalpita, they have fabricated. The fabrication is necessary, otherwise we won't be able to understand. Suppose, in the mathematics always the beginning is suppose. Suppose y equal to this much and x equal to this much. And why we are taking the y equal to this and x equal to this? Suppose. Without that you cannot proceed into that higher mathematics. This is very peculiar. And supposing that we are also proceeding, why we accept that suppose? Because teacher is telling. And teacher is going to prove us the whole mathematics with that this is the way you have to understand. And when they say God is there, God has no name, God has no form, but think Him as Rita. Rita means straight. And the Satya, truth, it never changes. Then Atma, then Brahma. In the Hindu religion, these two always come. Atma, Brahma and Bhagavan. So this always, they say this is the Sangha. Upanishads describe that Brahman as having two aspects. Now the question is, why this man asks this question? The moment you say the Atman and the Sharira are separate, then you are putting yourself in difficulty in philosophical answer. Because philosophically, you cannot say it is different from God. Why? Because everything has come from one God. All the religions are telling the same thing. God has created this world. Some they could not express or analyze or give the answers where from the God created this. The material, where from the material came. Anything that you are creating, material cause and intellectual cause. We know the God is the intellectual cause. What is the material cause? Where from the God could create? That is a vital question. The moment you say God has created out of those things, that means those things like the wood, the steel, or these or that was separated from God, that was already there existing. That means that God is not one, there were many other things. And the moment there are conception of many others, obviously the result is destruction. The moment you think of two, there will be coalition and destructions. So the conception of one, La ilaha illallah, in the Islam they say, it is only one and no two. Of course the explanation are different. Vedantin, we say it is only one. Then the question comes, where from this world came, where from this body came. The body cannot be the soul. Bodies we can touch, we can feel. A body is also changing. That doesn't mean the God is also changing. If the body has been created by God, out of God, does it mean the God is also changing? The very, very subtle questions of the philosophy will come the moment you say it is separate. So the Atma, the soul, and the body, are it separate? So that man is asking this question. And very intelligent question. And Sri Ramakrishna, before giving that, how he is giving the answer, I am quoting from the different Veda. First I was quoting from this, our Yoga Vashishta, and it says that only the concept, the name has been given to that. And Upanishad describing Brahman, I am not quoting different Upanishads, but they are describing Brahman at two different forms. One, Nirvishesha, a Sanskrit word. Nirvishesha, without any characteristics. Ni means negative. Vishesha, speciality. What is that negative? No qualities. If we don't have any quality, that cannot be used at all. That cannot be taken as seriously. If the water cannot quench our thirst, or the water is not as the water qualities, we won't call that as water. If the fire is looking like a fire but it cannot burn, we won't say that as a fire. Fire should have the burning capacity. So like that, the qualities, if the qualities are not there, then we are not going to tell that. The Brahman is not having any such qualities. So at the same time, from the Brahman, all these things have come. So second they say, Swa Vishesha. Swa means with. Ni is negative, without. And Swa, positive, with. The Brahman itself is having some qualities, and at the same time it is not having the qualities. It says the Para Brahman, that means the Supreme Brahman, Apara Brahman, that means the inferior Brahman. Again it says Vyavaharika and Paramarthika. Paramarthika means transcendental, and Vyavaharika means empirical Brahman. So in the Vedanta, this Vyavaharika and Paramarthika, one must be very, very careful, otherwise it will be very difficult for the Vedantin to survive. So I told you that again many times, I think. When I was traveling in a train, I was sitting on a chair and squatting because it is morning, and I was doing some little japa. And some of the university students, they entered into that particular compartment and they wanted to share those chairs, and they were requesting the other people to squeeze and to make the rooms for them. And they were sitting, they saw I am almost covering 2 seats, sitting like this. But they were a little hesitant to say something to the Swami. They had a lot of respect in India. Then one boy, smart boy, came and said, Swamiji, you have left everything, given up everything in this world. Why not this chair? Then I told, this is the only thing I am holding up to the Howrah station where I will get down. So up to the Howrah, after the Howrah you can take, but this is the only thing I am having. So Vyavaharika and Paramarthika. The Paramarthika, I know that I am not attached to anything, but the Vyavaharika I must have to. Otherwise it will be. Now one gentleman came, was a very strong person, and he was carrying the donation box, very heavy. He lifted it and he was taking away. It was good that another American, our person, he came and he said, hey, what is it? Why you are carrying it? Now I was thinking what is inside, and you need not to bother about what is inside. Keep it back over there. So he left it over there. So now, that time we cannot say, let it go, let it be there, whatever. No. You have to be very, very particular. So Paramarthika and Vyavaharika, these are the 2 things, and that is called the empirical Brahman and transcendental Brahman. When you are thinking about the transcendental Brahman, it is okay. Or we have to think of empirical. Adi Shankaracharya, in his commentary on the Brahma Sutra, it is 1.1.2, the Brahma Sutra, he describes the Brahman is apprehending on the 2 forms. Shankaracharya, he is giving the example. Why? Because the confusion, if this body is Brahman and also the soul is Brahman, the body is changing, then does it mean the Brahman is also changing? So to answer that again and again, all the philosophers, they are telling like this, the 2 forms of the same Brahman. In the first place, as qualified by limiting conditions owing to the multiformity of the evolutions of names and forms. The same Brahman, he is becoming all. Ekaham, I am one. Bahushyamavi, I like to be many. That is the concept of creation. Me, alone, one, but I like to be many. Immediately everything has come. And the Christianity we find, there was no light, it was all dark. Let there be light. Immediately there was light. So how just thinking, the Brahman thought to be many, it became many. Who became many? Brahman itself. So that's, we will come to the other part. Today we are not going to discuss that. If it is real many, the same Brahman becoming really transformed, that means it is exhausted. There's one milk was there, 1 liter milk. Out of the 1 liter milk, if I have making the yogurts, that means milk is not there. Milk is exhausted, it is still transferred into yogurt. Does it mean the Brahman, which has created this universe, this world of multiplicity, is no more? Is only surviving in this form? No, that is not. So there is another chapter. So the philosophy is very, very subtle. The more and more and more you study the philosophy, this subtlety comes. That's why they say brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means complete attention to that. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand it. Just going on reading the books while traveling in a flight and you complete the Vedanta Upanishad, that don't help. So you know how many slokas are there, etc., etc., good idea. But understanding the Upanishad means you have to pinpoint over there. And here it says Shankaracharya, the name and form. In the second place, as being free from all limiting condition whatsoever. First place, name and form. And second place, free from all limited conditions. What are the limited conditions? Name and form. There's a limited condition. So Brahman is having the supreme, ultimate, without form. And again Brahman is having the form. It has been wonderfully depicted by the Tantra as a Kali and Shiva. At the same time, we find that when you do the puja, the Hindus, when they are performing the puja, they will keep an image before. The image will be there, but at the same time, a pot full of water. And after the puja is over, usually the murti puja, the puja with the images, then they will push that water and it say, go now. Why? Brahmana rupakalpana. The Brahman, which is formless, but I cannot conceive it, I cannot have any idea, I cannot concentrate on that. So I am imagining that Brahman will be like this. It is like the Krishna, it is like the Durga, it is like the Kali, it is like the Ganesha, it is like the Shiva. There's many varieties. That's why in Hinduism, complete freedom is there to think about the God in whatever form, fashion you like. That is there. But a Hindu must know that that form is not the God, only helping us to concentrate. But the water, why water? Because the water has no form. And that's why we use the coconut. In the puja you will see the green coconut is always there. Not only that, in the opening of the new place, new shop and anything, they will keep that water pot and on that a green coconut, water. Not knowing why they have kept. It has become a tradition. But the symbol means the God is not having the form. So that is the main idea. There's a beautiful sloka is there, and in that sloka it gives in a simple way. It says, the Chaitanya, the consciousness are having 5 different parts. The Chaitanya, the consciousness is having 5 different sections. What are they? Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Then Rupam, Nama, Chetangsha Panchakam. Panchakam means 5. Chetangsha means the consciousness. Consciousness means the Brahman or Atman. It is having the 5 different parts. First 3, Adyam, Trayam, Brahma Rupam. Adyam means the first, Trayam means the 3, Brahma Rupam. They are the definitions of the Brahman. What are that? Asti, Bhati and Priya. Asti means existence, Bhati means the knowledge, and Priya means the bliss. The Asti, Bhati, Priya, existence, knowledge and bliss. You cannot express the Brahman in any other term. So Asti, Bhati, Priya, I am, so I can understand that I am. That particular consciousness, Asti, I don't like to die. Where from this thought came? No being like to die. Where from that thought came? Something must be there, otherwise where from it? It's not just that it is coming. So obviously some source is there from where it is coming. Asti. Asti means existence. Then Bhati, knowledge. We like to know. That must be having a source. And Priya. Priya means the bliss. This three is the definition of the Brahman. And the last two, Rupam and Nama. Nama and Rupa. Nama means name, Rupa means form. Name and form, name and form. Whole world is nothing but these two, name and form. When you see a small animal going with a cat, or maybe rat, or maybe dog, or maybe this and that, why? We have given the name. We have given this name to different animals. According to the size and the forms, we have given the names. And we are now identifying those in this way. The Nama and Rupa. That particular form is having this name. Now, seeing a cat, if you say it is a dog, people will laugh at you. Oh, you don't know what is dog and what is cat? So why? Because one should not mix up. This has been fixed in this way. Now if you argue, what is there? Somebody, he was thinking that this is a cat, I like to change it. You can change. If the people all over the world, they decide, from now we will change the name, the dog should be called as a cat and cat should be called as a dog. It will change. All the books and everywhere it will change. We will then, the next generation will come and without hesitation they will call that. So Nama and Rupa, these are the twos, and name and form are the identity of the Apara Brahman, and Brahman and Atman are the same. So there's in four different names. Now Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. Friends, in this connection I like to show you this one. This is our magazine, electronic magazine, e-zine. The name is Chicago Calling. Every 3 months we publish one issue. And only yesterday, I think, on the Monday, we have published this one. And it is containing a beautiful article describing this front page, cover page. And this is an artist, American artist, hearing the conception of the upper bird and the lower bird, he drew this, and it is here in our Ganges retreat. If you go the first, you can see this, the beautiful. You must read this particular article from here. You can download and can read and can pick up our this printed form also. This is giving the complete idea of the lower self and the higher self. And there are two different selves. Now we, the individual people, we are separate from the higher self. Why? Because we are entangled with the name and form. Now all these speeches, all these books, all this meditation, all these pujas, why? Because we want to get rid of this name and form and to reach to the higher. So then this very story like in the Upanishad, it has been described. So this you can pick up the $3 only, the cost, it will be really very helpful. And those who are going to visit the Ganges afterwards, you can remember why this picture, the upper bird and the lower bird? Sri Ramakrishna now, he is giving the answer. The person asked, it is page 429, Sir, what is the proof that the soul is separate from the body? He is asking, what is the proof? Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. Proof? God can be seen. How to give the proof? Because it is aparaksha anubhuti. It is not that I will take you to a laboratory and prove you, or on the board I will go on giving you the example and calculate and prove you. It is not like that. You have to understand it yourself. And if your mind is not ready, if your mind is not pure, if your mind is not unattached with all these worldly things, you will never be able to understand this. And if you say, oh no, it is not, because I could not understand, you are not ready to understand. The many of the scientific things, if they come and tell, majority of the people who are utilizing that benefit, they won't be able to understand how things are happening like this. So this say, proof Sri Ramakrishna is asking in surprising. God can be seen by practicing spiritual discipline. One sees God through His grace. We have to understand, just practicing spirituality doesn't mean that God will reveal. His grace is also necessary. In the one of the Upanishads also it says, Yami Vaisha Brinute Tena Labhya. There's some people they explain in a different way. But very simple meaning is, whom that particular Brahman chooses, Yami Vaisha Brinute Tena Labhya, he can understand. So that is, the God can be seen, but you have to practice. The rishis directly realized the self. That's why aparaksha anubhuti, not through anything, direct. Now we have only 5 things to understand. If I go and touch, I can understand something. If I taste, I can understand. If I smell, I can understand. If I see, I can understand. Like these 5 senses are there. But something which is beyond this, how you will understand? And a few days before, there was a peculiar sound was coming, some machineries. Many other people, our volunteers, they went, they could hear the sound, but another person who went along with them, he could not, because of the defect in hearing. That man is having the ears, but at the same time, because of the high pitch of that sound, he is not capable to hear where others are hearing it. He will simply say, no, it is a lie, it is a false. I was there. I couldn't hear that sound. You people are not telling the truth. There is no sound. Why? His ear is not corrected, defective ears. So if the machine is not perfect, now I look at things. Suppose my eyes are not perfect. I will see things in a different way. And sometimes in the night, when you are feeling little dozy, and of course not on the wheel, when you are driving, but in the other seat you are sitting, dozing, and sometimes you are looking, you see a big truck is coming, but actually it is just a car. Why you see the truck? Because it was on the upper level of the road. So it is the road, uneven road, upper level it is coming. Many times it happened. I see with my own eyes. And I don't understand. When it comes near, then only I can. Those proofs are there. And it says, even when we go and touch, when you see, when you taste, when you feel, no, I may make mistakes. Many times. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, directly you have to see, and in Sanskrit it says, aparaksha. We're not taking any help of anything. aparaksha anubhuti, otherwise there is no proof. In the Vedanta there are different type of proofs. Sometimes they say 3, sometimes they say 6, all these measurements are there. But the direct, when you see, when that young man, Narendranath Datta, who became afterwards Swami Vivekananda, went to Sri Ramakrishna and asked this question, "Sir, have you seen God?" He asked the same question to many other religious leaders. They could not give the answer. And immediately Sri Ramakrishna, he said, "I have seen God more clearly." This is the very important word. "I have seen God more clearly than I see you now. Because now I am seeing you through my eyes. But when I saw the God, I saw in realization, and there is no fault." So that is Sri Ramakrishna is telling that. And he says, science gives us information only about things perceived by the senses. Many people talk about science and religion, science and religion. The science only discussing about the external things. And they are all measurement, they are all machineries only to use for the external objects. What about the internal object? What about the mind? They are having some questionnaires, and if you behave little different way, immediately they will say, "Go and consult with this particular expert doctor and doctor of the mind, and he will give you 21 questions. Do you think this way? Do you feel that way?" And then afterwards he will declare he's a man. But maybe you are totally different time. This man, this doctor, is not having any idea about the spiritual growth. That is the reason. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, science gives us information only about the things perceived by the senses. As for the instance, this material mixed with that material gives such and such a result. But the science cannot say how other things are happening. At the same time, same moment, two souls was born as a human being. One in a very poor family, and right from the birth suffering. Another in the same locality in a rich family, right from the birth enjoying. Is it an accident? No. There must be cause and effect. Some causes are there sometime, somewhere, which is unseen, but that was there. And that is the reason it is happening. Otherwise, why it will happen? And cause and effect, it goes on. For this reason, a man cannot comprehend spiritual things which is ordinary intelligence. To understand them, he must live in the company of holy persons. And he gives again, you learn to feel the pulse by living with a physician. And if you, in olden days, they used to hold the pulse like this, and they'll be counting how many beats are going on, and then accordingly they could say what is happening in your body. Now it is all machineries, but they could feel. And in those days, they used to call them Kabiraj. And if you like to learn those medical science, you have to live with them. Even today, the doctors, the would-be doctors, after passing the graduation, and they will go and live in the company of the senior doctors. And slowly, slowly they will learn. Similarly, you have to live with the holy people, and then only you can learn it. And now the actor said, "Sir, now I understand." What about you? Thank you. Let us complete over here, and we will again read in the next day. Friends, I think I have already announced, and you know, it is in our website. Because of the Swami who passed away, we have cancelled that program. And we will have same program, similar program with 4 of our Swamis in the September 30th. So that program, it will be there, and it will be a wonderful program. As because certain demise, so we thought is better to cancel. And our most revered President Maharaj, under his presidentship, there was a meeting and they decided it. So that won't be there. I don't know whether VIPs, I have written to them, program is cancelled. Whether the Chief Minister of West Bengal will visit or not, I am not sure. I don't know. But our program is cancelled. And I'll be writing to you, also sending out the emails. That is. And I'll be going to this weekend, Sunday, I won't be here. Bradhanandaji will give the Sunday to scores. I will go to Edmonton, Canada, and I will come back, but the Tuesday class will be here. So let us pray to this and conclude. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vikraham Vai Ishavattaram Parameshamityam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.